What is up, team? So in today's video, we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about the inflation coming out. The inflation numbers are supposed to come out in the next 2 to 3 hours. We're going to be talking about the Coinbase revenue loss, Kadena, and Verasity. So bear with me, stay till the end of the video because this is going to be a very interesting one. Okay, so right now this is the Bitcoin price. But before I get into the Bitcoin price, let's have a look at this and what is happening right here. Okay, so today, guys, the CPI inflation numbers are supposed to be coming out at 12:30 GMT time. So depending where you are around the world varies, of course. And this is in a couple hours, guys. This is in 2 hours exactly. The numbers will be coming out in 3 hours. Sorry. In 3 hours, the numbers will be coming out. The forecast is supposed to be 9.1%. People are saying that it's going to be at around 8.5. We peaked at 9.1% last month. The question is are we going to go above or below? A lot of people are saying that we should be seeing a nice little pump today in the stock markets and risky assets such as gold, Bitcoin, and the stock market. Will we see a squeeze to the top for Bitcoin, or are we going to dump? We know that when we saw this 9.1% last month, we saw Bitcoin pump, which was quite interesting. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, but wait, should be going down, so we should see a pump. What do you guys think? Are we going to pump? Are we going to dump? Let's have a look. One more thing before I get into the Bitcoin charts. Coinbase post 1.1 billion loss in Q2 on fast and fierce crypto downturn, guys. So in Q2 quarter 2, Coinbase lost $1.1 billion. So this is how you know loss of interest is happening in crypto right now. Not a lot of people are essentially interested. It's the largest quarterly loss for the crypto company since its listing on the Nasdaq stock exchange back in April. In April, this is when we saw is when we saw the big dump. So a lot of people thought that the Coinbase news would bring Bitcoin to 100K, but it completely did the opposite. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm gonna leave this article in the description below. Having a look at Bitcoin real quick, what are we seeing here? What is happening? We saw a nice little pump earlier, an hour ago approximately, and now we're essentially dumping back. Okay, so first of all, we are seeing a nice little bearish divergence right here. We have a nice little higher high and a lower high right here. We got a lower high. This is a bearish divergence when we're increasing in the RSI, decreasing on the charts. This is a bearish pattern, by the way, number one. Number two, we have a few key points we want to look at. The first one is right here, okay? This is the first key point. This resistance right here, we've been getting rejected a lot. We had a rejection right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? And we also had a nice little peak below 22,800. Now, I did mention that if we close below 22,800, it would be a good short opportunity. We did close below, but we rallied right back up. This is a bearish pattern, guys. This was just a relief rally in my opinion. I think we're going to end up coming back down after the announcement, even if the announcement is below, in my opinion, below 9.1%. Another thing that's pretty bearish, guys, is this right here. These two arrows right here, as you guys can see. This is the first one, and then this is the second one. Bitcoin is currently making a lower high right now. So this is a trend reversal. This is a big trend reversal. Right here, we kept making higher highs. Higher high right here, higher high, higher high, higher high, and then boom, lower high. Okay, so this is a trend reversal. Okay, so this is clearly bearish, guys. I don't see Bitcoin going back here, in my opinion. And we also couldn't really break above this area right here, which was $24,000. We couldn't have a clean breakout above $24,000. If we manage to come back up and retest at $24,000, very possible that we essentially break it. But for now, things are looking very bearish overall. And another thing that I do want to talk about is this bearish, not this bearish, but this rising wedge essentially. Now we know rising wedges are bearish, right? Well, before I get into the rising wedge, I do want to talk about this support right here that Bitcoin did break down. This was a very important support. 1, 2, 3 hits. We had 3 hits on the support region, and if I bring this thing since July 26th, this mini uptrend right here, we actually did break below the short-term uptrend, but of course on a longer time frame, if I go back to July 12th, we are still inside the zone, and we actually break below it and flew back right up. So this is interesting, but the other thing that I do want to talk about is this right here. First of all, this candle right here is looking pretty bearish. I'm not gonna lie so far. The second is, are we in a bearish, in a rising wedge right here? Now we know rising wedge is when you increase and the volume and the price action gets smaller and smaller as you get to the peak. Can this be the situation? Now the target for the rising wedge is usually at the breakout. It's the bottom of this wedge right here. So it meets exactly with our level, okay? So if Bitcoin comes back down to $19,000, a level that I've been talking about for quite some time, if we break this, not quite some time, but for the past week, if we break this area, we're most likely gonna essentially free fall and come back down to $19,000, which we'll see Kda and VRA essentially crashing down. So let's have a look at Kda down 3%, traded at $2.13 right here. Market cap is under 400 million. We had that nice little pump that we spoke about. Let me flip the charts real quick. We are down below ranked 100 and below the 100. We were ranked 94 last time I made a video. We had a nice little pump, and now we're currently back under it. Does that mean it's bad? No, not necessarily. I told you guys that things might come back down and that I'm still bullish on the longer term. And guys, it's good that Kda is low. You want Kadena to go even lower because you want to accumulate as much as you can, right? That's the whole point. I'm not here to say, oh, Kadena's going to $100 now. Like, no, I'm not gonna shill this out. We're in a bear market, guys. You have to understand that. $32 million market cap to volume to market cap ratio is 8.1%. Very, very nice. Let's have a look at the Kda charts real quick and dive in. Starting off with a 4-hour time frame, there's a few things I do want to have a look at on Kadena. First of all, we have a nice little double top on the RSI. That's number one. Number two, we have a higher high right here on the charts. This creates another bearish divergence, guys. This is another bearish divergence that we are seeing. And of course, if you guys were here in my live the other day, I did mention that we were essentially going to come back down to essentially retest this trend line at least. And this is exactly what happened. We retested this trend line. I believe my live was around this area right here. We came back down, retested, and now we're below it. Now, the bad thing about this is that when we have a breakdown below it, we usually come back down and retest. It doesn't matter if it's a support, a resistance. When we break below support, we usually come back down, retest, and come back up. And when we break a resistance, we come back down, retest, and then go back up. So this is exactly what is happening right now for Kda. This is a mini support that we currently have on the trend line, and we're retesting that support. We're retesting that support, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got a hammer back down right here to this area. Well, not that area, but at least 1.84 in my opinion. I think Kadena could definitely go back down to 1.84, and that's about it. As you guys can see, this is a trend line right here. 1, 2, 2 hits, 3 hits, came back, broke it, bearish divergence, double top on the charts. Nothing too much to see over here. I think overall I'm pretty bullish on Kadena, but on the shorter term, I would pretty much be bearish. We did peak right here at 2.46, guys, 2.46. I did say Kadena could go as high as $3 if Bitcoin stays and continues rallying above $24,000. Bitcoin failed to break the $24,000 region right here. Therefore, we had to essentially come back down and dump. Guys, everything at the end of the day depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin, like I said, this is why I started with Bitcoin most of the time. If Bitcoin pumps, Kadena will pump, VRA will pump. That's how it is. That's always how it will be. VRA right now down 3%, trade at 0.065, ranked 346, which is quite high, but better than the last time I made the video. We have 364 people on the watch list. Community keeps growing. 67 million market cap. This can definitely go to 100 times in my opinion in the next bull run. 67 is very, very low. Assuming you got in at 24 million market cap, you're up literally 2-3x right now. Very, very nice. Fantastic. Let's take a look and pull out Verasity. So Verasity real quick. Let me zoom in real quick. On Veracity, we don't have really bearish divergence right here. It's looking pretty good, and we are pretty bullish so far. Yes, so far. So this is a trend line right here. We're most likely going to come back down and retest that trend line. That's number one. We had 3 beautiful little touches. Another thing is this double top right here that we saw. So if I have a look on the 4-hour time frame real quick, this is the double top and the resistance that we are at. And we had another double top right here essentially. Now we're coming back down and retesting this resistance. Very, very important resistance. If we manage to essentially stay above this resistance, which is 0.064, then we should see a nice little move to the top side. And if we manage to stay above or below this resistance, and we're most likely going to come back down and retest this trend line. If we manage to stay above this trend line when Bitcoin's dumping, that would be very, very good in my opinion. But other than that, we're going to have to see how this plays out, because we know, I could even extend that all the way here. We know that when Bitcoin dumps, everything usually tends to dump. We had a nice little fake out right here, double top. These are the 2 arrows that I'm mentioning. So it's going to be interesting to see overall. I mean, things are looking pretty solid. We aren't seeing any, it's looking pretty neutral. I wouldn't take any moves on VRA just yet. If we manage to break this level right here at 7, that would be a good long or buying opportunity. One more time. If we do break this level right here on the support, we're most likely going to come back down and retest this level at 0.05, which is this previous resistance, which is now support. As you guys can see right here, this box is pretty important. We were consolidating, we kept getting rejected before we kept coming back down. So it's very possible we come back down and retest this area right here. So anywhere I would say between 0.058 to 0.05 would be a good accumulation phase. If we break that, we're most likely gonna come back down and retest the all-time lows of 2022, which is this little box right here. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens overall, guys. I mean, this is my video on Kda, Bitcoin, and Veracity. If you guys like this video, of course, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more daily content, and I will see you guys in my next video tomorrow. Peace.